Hi, I'm Larry Silverman. My wife Corrine and I are the senior ministry leaders of New Covenant Grace Fellowship in Citrus County, Florida. I'd like to take a minute and welcome you to our website, www.ncgrace.com, as well as I'd like to welcome you to beautiful Lake Tasala, Apopka, right here in the middle of Florida's Nature Coast. We're located a little over an hour north of Tampa, a little over an hour west of Orlando. You know, our church is a new church. It's a little over a year old. And being so, sometimes people come to me and say, well, Larry, why do we have to have another new church when there are so many already in existence in our area? Well, my answer is simple. I really feel that years ago the Lord spoke to me in church planting and said that unless our church is unique, it really has no right to exist. I feel our church is unique, and I'd like to just share just a couple of points with you about our uniqueness. Number one, we believe that the last words that Jesus spoke on the cross are very, very important. He said, if you remember right, it is finished. That simply means that all of the work he did for mankind's redemption, and not only that, for our successful life living in the current kingdom of God, was completed upon the cross. Therefore, as a result of the finished work of Christ, the second important, unique ingredient of our ministry is that Paul said in Hebrews chapter 4 that there is therefore a rest to the people of God. We believe that that rest and that finished work of Christ go hand in hand together and in themselves cause our church to be very unique. You know, many times people are trying to serve the Lord by some type of law. Not necessarily always the law of the Old Covenant found in the Old Testament, but oftentimes people come up with laws of their own making, of their own choosing, that they feel by following these rules and regulations, these laws, that somehow God would be more pleased with them, that God would be happy with them, and therefore they'd walk in the greater blessings of God. That's not rest. And simply this, I believe this, that this is a little law of my own making, that whenever we try to serve God with some type of a law, the only thing that's going to follow is fear, shame, and condemnation. And those are great enemies to any of us who are living in this wonderful new covenant of grace. You know, lastly, I'd just like to state this. We feel that it's a part of the mission of our church, one of our goals, if you will, that when people attend one of our services, they're going to leave feeling better about themselves than when they first arrived. We may not be perfectly achieving that goal yet, but you know what? We're doing a pretty good job. And the testimonies are just remarkable about people coming and finding this wonderful peace that God has given them as they understand what New Covenant grace is all about. I would just like to close this video with stating Paul's wonderful great blessing found in every one of his letters. He mentioned in every one of his letters these words, grace and peace. And I'd like to pronounce that blessing over you today. I'd say grace and peace to you and everything you do. May God bless you greatly.